Pokemon has been around for over 20 years now, and throughout the progression of this series, a lot of happy moments have came to be from the Pokemon anime and the games. Today, I wish to address some of the happiest moments within the Pokemon franchise with my top 10 happiest moments in Pokemon. If you disagree with some of these moments, feel free to share your opinion on your happiest moments in the comment section down below. With all that being said though, let's hop on that nostalgia train with some of the happiest moments in Pokemon. This one is number 10 on the list because to me, it's not as special, but it is worth mentioning. Beating your dad in the Hoenn games can be very rewarding because your dad comes off as a superior trainer, having more experience than you, and puts you on a quest to obtain 4 badges before you get the right to challenge him. Once the player gets those 4 badges and it's showdown time, the player proves themselves as qualified. Once they win, Norman is upset but happy at the same time because their son or daughter has grown so much within that time. To me, this shows a bond between father and child. This has never been showed in any Pokemon games because there have never been any fathers. I thought this was a genius concept that Game Freak actually introduced. While there have been a lot of Pokemon movies in the past 20 years, not all of them have been good. But fear not, because not all of them are bad. Enter Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. While this movie had some flaws like all do, there was one moment worthy of making this list, and that is when Lucario finally reunites with his master Aaron towards the end of the movie. While there were a few good moments from this movie, nothing can really top this. After hundreds of years being stuck in his staff, after clashes with Ash, thinking his master abandoned the kingdom and climbing a huge tree, they finally reach the top, and he finds Aaron trapped in a crystal, and in that moment, he realizes that he was wrong. Aaron didn't betray the kingdom, but saved it, and in the following sequence, gives it its life, in the same selfless act to save the kingdom Aaron did hundreds of years earlier. We all know that Tracy from the Orange Island series was garbage. No one really liked that guy. He was just kind of a replacement Brock that wasn't executed well. Also Tracy, he likes to draw, but that's besides the point. Once the anime realized they messed up, they scraped Tracy and got Ash's original companion back. That's right, when Brock returned to the anime and Johto lasted through Hoenn and Sinnoh, Brock was the first gym leader Ash beat, and after he beat Brock decided to join Ash on his journey as his father promised to take care of the Pewter City gym and family. Seeing Brock in the anime after the failure that was Tracy just made me really happy. Then Brock was taken out for Silent and Clement. Sad times. We all know Gary, that cocky, arrogant rival that would always put down Ash. He would constantly be ahead of Ash in terms of battling experience and just having a lot more Pokemon. And in all honesty, a lot of us just wanted to see Ash beat him, and it finally happened in the Johto region, where Ash and Gary had probably one of the most epic battles in the Pokemon anime. It was a 6-on-6 battle where Gary and Ash clashed. Gary had the lead for a little, but came back amazingly with the help of his Heracross, Snorlax, and especially with his Charizard. That epic battle between Charizard and Blastoise, we all remember it being really epic, especially with Charizard burning the field. After a huge seismic toss to the ground, Blastoise goes down, and Ash finally beats Gary. After all those times of being humiliated by Gary, Ash finally shows him up, and it's quite amazing to say the least. Can we all agree that the Indigo League anime had some of the best moments? Maybe it's nostalgia, maybe it's how simple it was, maybe it was how Ash was more determined than he ever was. But there was just something about this series that works so well that seems to have just been lost over the years. One of the best things the Indigo League had is how they really delved into the backstory of certain characters to great detail. One of those characters was Team Rocket's own James. The moment we're talking about comes from episode 48, Holy Matrimony, when James reunites with his childhood partner Growlithe. While this moment may not be the biggest in this show, it shows a more innocent side of someone you're supposed to believe to be the bad guy, and makes you care for him and hope he triumphs against the odds all in one episode. Now I know that a lot of people have not played the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games, but I have to say that reuniting with your partner after that moment of them disappearing is probably one of the happiest moments I have ever played in a Pokemon game, despite Mystery Dungeon being a spin-off game. After a long and rigorous journey after being turned into a human and adapting to that lifestyle, the main Pokemon must turn back into a human. This devastates the partner the player chose, and the feels begin to happen. Sometime later though, the partner is seen still very melancholy, and all of a sudden there is a flashing light, and the partner is reunited with their best friend. I'm not gonna lie, seeing those teary eyes of the partner Pokemon truly gives those tears of joy and reunitement to me, especially in the Pokemon Explorers of Sky series. Okay, Charizard fans, let's all come together and remember the time when Ash got his Charizard and it finally obeyed him. It took a long time for Charizard to obey Ash because of Charizard's lack of respect towards Ash. After getting destroyed by an opponent's Poliwrath though, Charizard lost and got very sick. Ash showed Charizard the most love he could ever show it by giving it massages to warm it up after taking an Ice Beam. Charizard saw that Ash really cared for it and remembered all of the fun times it was as a Charmander, and finally repaired that shattered bond. After Charizard was all healed up, it was ready to take on that Poliwrath again, and Ash worked with Charizard as an amazing team to finally take it out. Seeing them work together really put a smile on my face, and it made me realize Charizard was one of the coolest Pokemon Ash had. Coming in at the number 3 slot, we have a very happy moment that goes from really sad to incredibly happy. Ash is ready to give Pikachu, in his opinion, a better life. But Pikachu is determined to stay with Ash. After a tear-shedding moment with the song titled like the episode Pikachu's Goodbye, Ash stops for a bit and sees over a hill as the sun rises, and Pikachu stands on top of that hill, wanting to stay with Ash. When this moment happened, I just couldn't stop crying with joy, hitting me so hard with the feels, and then Pikachu joins Ash. What a glorious moment. We can't lie and say we weren't happy when we got our first starter Pokemon, especially picking the one we wanted. Everyone started off with different Pokemon games and has that special starter we love, but for me notably, it was Chikorita and Soul Silver. The difference between the Gen 4 remakes and other games is the fact that Pokemon would actually follow you around, and having one of my favorite Pokemon follow me around was amazing, especially because it was actually following behind me. This was the first time any Pokemon could follow you besides for Pikachu and Pokemon Yellow. The fact that I could see my starter following me was incredible enough, but with cute little Chikorita as my starter, it made those moments even better. To me, this was a brand new starter Pokemon. Still though, almost everyone's first starter Pokemon are special to them, and I can definitely say Chikorita is mine, especially in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. This list originally had some options on it that I wanted to include, but I couldn't, so here are some honorable mentions. In Pokemon Black and White, Bianca wants to become a Pokemon trainer very bad, and her dad doesn't support it fully, but she embarks on her journey anyways. Her dad winds up going to Nabasa City to stop her, but then is confronted by Elesa, the gym leader, and tells Bianca to follow her dreams. Then she stands up to her dad and he winds up letting her go. Next one I had to mention is a remembrance of Butterfree in the Unova anime series. Ash encounters a Caterpie that he is trying to help evolve into Butterfree, and he remembers all of the good times he had with his own. I miss you every second, Butterfree. You were one of the reasons I watched the anime as a kid. Another one is when Lapras was reunited with his family after accompanying Ash on his Orange League journey. Ash got Lapras after it was separated from its herd, and seeing Lapras go back to its family was definitely very heartwarming to say the least. Well, those are the honorable mentions I had to bring up. Okay, on to number 1. Even after 16 years, I still get happy tears when I see Ash come back to life after turning in the stone for Mew and Mewtwo's blast from Pokemon the first movie. After seeing all of the attempts of Pikachu shocking Ash, trying to wake him up and seeing all of the Pokemon cry really put me in the feel zone. I really thought Ash wasn't going to come back. I mean, come on, I was 6. When he was hit by tears though and brought back, I was so happy, especially seeing Pikachu relieved as well. I mean, Mewtwo even respected him after that. That moment, to me, is honestly the happiest moment in Pokemon. Well, that pretty much wraps up my top 10 happiest moments in Pokemon. No matter what, in the games or the anime, we all have had our share of happiest moments in Pokemon, and these were by far some of the best ones I have ever experienced. What are the happiest moments to you though? Be sure to leave them down in the comment section below. Remember that if you enjoyed this video, to be sure to leave a like and share this video with a friend. With all that being said though, I've been Mystic Umbreon, and I will see you in the future for more Pokemon content.